A deadly virus ravaged the world, wiping out 5 billion. Humanity retreated underground, leaving the surface to nature's reclaim. Animals roamed free, cities turned to jungles. Let's go back to 1996. We meet a boy named Cole, James Cole. He's at an airport in Philadelphia with his parents when he witnesses a shootout. The police shoot and kill a man right in the middle of the airport, leaving a blonde woman crying beside him. Remember this scene, as it becomes important later on. Moving forward from 1996, the world transitions to 2035. A devastating virus has ravaged the world, affecting nearly everyone. 5 billion people have died, leaving only those immune to the virus to live underground, completely cut off from the surface. Those who must venture outside cover themselves fully to avoid infection by this deadly virus. In 2035, scientists, unable to find a vaccine, have instead invented a time machine. This machine can send people back in time, but not into the future. In their current time, what use would they have for the future anyway? Now, remember Cole from 1996? He miraculously survives and has grown up by 2035, though he's ended up in jail for reasons undisclosed. He's held with other prisoners, and the scientists decide to send him back in time because of his sharp memory. Their decision is based on a voicemail received from 1996, where a woman's voice mentions something about the army of the 12 monkeys and their involvement in spreading the virus. The scientists' goal is to send someone back to uncover details about this army, trace the virus's origin, and identify its creators. This knowledge would help them develop a cure in 2035 without altering the past, adhering to the belief in a predestination paradox. What happened in the past cannot be changed without risking unforeseen consequences. Cole is chosen to travel back, but due to a glitch, he arrives not in 1996, but in 1990, 6 years earlier. He tries to warn people about the impending apocalypse, but no one believes him, dismissing him as insane and sending him to a mental institution. There, he meets Dr. Catherine Rayleigh, a psychiatrist who initially doubts his claims but wants to help him nonetheless. Cole attempts to contact the future by calling the number from the 1996 voicemail, but since it's still 1990, he reaches an unknown woman instead. This only reinforces others' belief in his delusions, and his treatment begins. In the mental institution, Cole befriends Jeffrey Goins, a fellow patient with eccentric ideas about changing the world. Cole confides in Jeffrey about his mission to locate the army of the 12 monkeys, the group responsible for the virus. During an escape attempt, Cole is apprehended by guards and returned to confinement. Throughout his ordeal, he hears the voice of an unknown person, which he believes is a hallucination brought on by the effects of time travel. When Dr. Rayleigh and others return to check on him, they discover that Cole has vanished. Suddenly, Cole vanishes from his locked confinement, which seems impossible. It turns out he has been pulled back to 2035. The scientists there realize that Cole couldn't have known about the virus origin because they sent him to 1990 instead of 1996. They show photos of Cole to suspected individuals involved in creating the virus, including Jeffrey, who is revealed to be the son of renowned scientist Dr. Goins, but confined due to his mental state. Cole is sent back again, this time to 1996, but due to another glitch, he ends up in World War I around 1920. He travels with Jose, another time traveler, and gets shot in the leg. Eventually, due to another glitch, he finally arrives in 1996. His mission now is to track down the army of the 12 monkeys. First, he kidnaps Dr. Catherine Rayleigh, partly because she doesn't know how to drive and perhaps because he finds her attractive. He drives Catherine to Philadelphia, the city where the virus initially spread according to the 2035 scientists. There, Cole interrogates members of the Animal Association to learn about the army of the 12 monkeys. He discovers that Jeffrey, his friend from the mental asylum, is the leader of the army, responsible for spreading the virus. Catherine removes the bullet from Cole's leg, which he got during World War I, and then Cole leaves her in the car to confront Jeffrey. Security guards take Cole to Jeffrey, and Cole explains that he doesn't intend to alter the future, but wants to know the virus's location so scientists in the future can develop a vaccine. Jeffrey reveals that the idea of the virus and the 12 monkeys came from Cole himself when they were in the asylum in 1990. This revelation creates a predestination paradox. If Cole hadn't mentioned it to Jeffrey in 1990, the virus and the 12 monkeys might never have existed in 1996. Realizing this, Cole becomes distraught. He frees Catherine and, in a moment of frustration, disappears suddenly in front of her, transported back to 2035 by the scientists. Now Catherine, who initially thought Cole was crazy for claiming he came from the future, begins to believe him. This, along with the confirmation of the World War I bullet Catherine removed from Cole's leg, convinces her of Cole's truthfulness. Meanwhile, the scientists in 2035 are pleased to have identified the army of the 12 monkeys and its leader. However, Cole isn't satisfied. He's developed feelings for Catherine. A voice in his head urges him that the future and the virus are not real, and he decides to stay in the past with Catherine. They make plans to avoid altering the future and simply live together in the present. However, Catherine leaves a voicemail using the same lines heard in the 2035 voicemail, mentioning the freedom for animal association and ending with, "Have a Merry Christmas." Cole realizes that this voicemail will eventually be heard in 2035, confirming to him that the apocalypse is inevitable and cannot be stopped. Meanwhile, Jeffrey, who Cole had discovered is the leader of the 12 monkeys, prepares for what appears to be a virus-spreading mission. In reality, Jeffrey's plan is to liberate animals from a zoo, driven by his passion for animal rights. His group successfully releases the animals, creating chaos. When Cole and Catherine learn about Jeffrey's true intentions and realize the army of the 12 monkeys isn't responsible for the virus, they feel they're too late to change anything. They decide to change their appearances so they won't be recognized. Catherine dyes her hair blonde. They plan to leave the airport and start a new life together. Meanwhile, they discover suspicious bags belonging to Dr. Peters, Dr. Goines' assistant, and Jeffrey's father's colleague. Dr. Peters, a troubled individual who believes humanity has lost its way, intends to use the virus from Dr. Goines' lab to wipe out the world. He is the mastermind behind the impending pandemic. Cole tries once more to contact the future using the number of the carpet cleaning company, leaving a voicemail informing them that the 12 monkeys aren't to blame and that his mission is complete. He won't return to 2035. However, Josie, another time traveler from 2035, arrives to persuade Cole to continue his mission. She gives him a gun and threatens Catherine's life to ensure his cooperation. Reluctantly, Cole takes the gun, unsure of whom to shoot. This situation triggers a memory in Cole from the beginning of the story, where he witnessed a shootout. It dawns on him that this location is familiar. He's recalling his forgotten past. Catherine informs him about Dr. Peters' plan to release the virus, prompting Cole to chase after Peters to stop him. In a tragic turn, the police shoot Cole from behind as he pursues Peters, leaving Catherine devastated and helpless, mirroring the scene witnessed by young Cole in 1996. Meanwhile, Dr. Peters boards his flight with the virus, potentially unleashing devastation upon the world, leading directly into the year 2035. Dr. Jones, a scientist from 2035, tells Dr. Peters that the world is so cruel it deserves to end, and they become friends. As planned, once they identify the person who spread the virus, they will gain more knowledge about it and find a cure.